this next topic we have to discuss. We have to be accountable for the information we have put out there. This was not only a topic in the show, it became a reel on Instagram. And as we know, quite often these players see these reels, making their own opinions about us.
What are you
Derek
talking
Barnes.
about? Oh.
A few weeks back, we were talking about the meat missile.
Yeah.
Your meat missile, Jack Campbell.
The meat missile. I see you're coming around to it.
Huh?
I see you're coming around to it.
Not coming around to it. Hate the name. Hate the nickname. However, the hype was around him in training camp, and Derek Barnes, said he had a rough couple of days.
Yeah.
He had to go see somebody and get right with the Lord.
Yeah.
We said he was praying that God to keep his job. And not only did he, looks like he's keeping his job, but he took Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us is going to throw anybody a pizza. Because talking to John, looking at the unofficial depth chart that came out, Derek Barnes looks like he might be the starting linebacker alongside Alex Anzalone in this defense.
Yeah, he very well could. He's had a great couple of days, the last couple of days of camp. He's been all over the field making plays, being a meat missile of his own. And it's very impressive when you see, dude, competition builds greatness. And when you bring in a guy like Jack Campbell that you took in the first round, that you expect to be a starter, you expect to be a guy on this team for a while, it makes the other guys step up. It makes the other guys be like, all right, you brought this guy in, here's what I'm going to do about it. And Derek Barnes is making the best of his opportunities at camp. He's making the best of his chances in the joint practices, and so far, so good. That's all I've heard is great things out of it, Derek Barnes.
It's crazy, too, because I'll never Coach Shepard had hit the podium after the draft, or I think heading into OTAs. And I don't know how Derek Barnes came up, or even if he did, but he mentioned that the first person to text him immediately found that the Jack Campbell draft pick was Derek Barnes. And he was asking him, what do I got to do? What can I do to get better? What can I do to stay on this team? And then Alex Anzalone, the veteran of the group, you say now, who's only been in the league 5 years, it's kind of crazy to say, 6 years I think now, going on a 6th year, so that Derek's improved, not just in the run game, but also in coverage. I think you saw a couple weeks back, he had a tipped ball turned into an interception into Savion Smith's hands. Today, he almost had an interception today, too. We saw him Saturday actually get a big one in the backfield. And guess who the first person was to congratulate him? Coach Calvin Shepard.
Yeah.
Derek Barnes is becoming the perfect kind of story for a Jack Campbell or Malcolm Rodriguez or any other rookie on the team to see, like, it's not just you're designated as a second stringer or a third stringer like your whole career just because you start your first 2 years like that. This guy's busting his ass, and he's made strides of improvement. And this is a coaching staff that's not just putting anybody out there. Like, they're going to put out the hardest worker, the guy who's best fit for the defense. And Derek Barnes has always had that athletically. It's just going back to, again, Coach Shepard's words again was like, sometimes you tell a man to go right, he was going left. You tell him to go left, he was going right. But it sounds like he's got those things down. And the little spurts we've seen out of him, including the interception. Yeah, I think he had another tip ball against Aaron Rodgers last year, too. That's when it helped Kirby or Aiden, whichever one it was. It was actually on his head. But we've seen some highlight plays, some like big bursts out of a guy like Derek Barnes before, too. I'm fucking excited. Like, if this guy's just now making his stride, and then you have a Jack Campbell. Yeah, Jack Campbell's probably going to end up starting at some point either way. Like, what he's able to do is hard to fucking cover, hard to keep off the field. But eventually he has to catch up to what Derek Barnes is bringing. And if Derek Barnes is bringing this in his third year, I got to assume it's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy for Derek Barnes. And I also would like to apologize to Derek Barnes for our comments.
I'm happy for Derek Barnes too, and obviously the praying to God worked because he's been playing like a monster out there. He heard your call and he gifted you something.
Shut down some powers.
Yeah, like literally, you remember what Kelvin Shepard said during Hard Knocks, like that he's got all the intangibles, he's got all the physical abilities, but he doesn't know his left from his right. Like he needs to work on the cognitive part of the game a little bit more. And so far, so good. In practice, it seems like he's got that down. He's been making plays. He's been going after it, and I'm excited for the guy, man. Shout out to him. Like I said, nothing is better than competition when it comes to position battles, and linebacker is one that the Lions did not think they were going to have too much of competition for because you thought, like, oh, the linebacking core was pretty weak last year. You add Jack Campbell in the first round, oh, he's starter day one. Like, he has the talent to do that. And right now, it's looking like that's still up in the air.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find some of the comments about Derek Barnes from camp because Alex only spoke on him specifically yesterday, and he was kind of, someone said in the Woodward Sports chat briefly, I forgot, I didn't see the name there, but he kind of had it in the run game. Like he was put in those heavy box packages, every package like you want to stop the run. Like Derek Barnes was a part of that because of his explosive athleticism and his ability to make plays. I at one point, I think when he was drafted, talking to Scott, as crazy as this comp is, but it was
Scott
like
Klingler?
No, our guy.
Scott Bischoff.
Yeah, Scott Bischoff. Thank you. Oh, shout out Scott Klingler.
Shout out
Our guy Scott Bischoff as well. But
for sure,
the comps coming out of college is like he could bring you some Micah Parsons, but in a smaller package. I'm saying like athletically, he was that, but obviously as a shorter guy, it's just he couldn't get everything together enough in time to see the field because of his coverage issues. But now that he's got that fixed, or it sounds like he's got that fixed, the X's and O's part of it. Granted, too, I think another piece of that is the fact that AG's been blessed with another year of having the same defense versus last year it being brand new. You know what I'm saying? Different scheme. You remember it used to be the reading rack and they wanted to be attack.
Yeah.
Well, obviously midway through the season he had to change that because the young guys just weren't ready for it. But Derek Barnes is now at 2 years of that. And now he's taking a step up, starting over Jack Campbell. And I'm glad. I don't got to buy you no fucking mushroom pizza.
We'll see. We'll see who's out there snap one week 1.
Yeah.
So that's who counts as the starter.
But if it's Derek Barnes, what will happen? We split it?
It's a wash. Or yeah, we can just
split a pizza.
We can just split a pizza. Mushrooms on half of it.
Deal.
Yeah.
Buy me a shot. We'll just take shots together.
I'd rather have pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you?
You can get shots anywhere.
What happened to you?
I like pizza, man.
You do like pizza. You're Italian.
Whoa. Speaking of Italian, yeah, I do think that Jack Campbell had that starting spot by the end of the year, though, if it isn't week 1.
Yeah.
They're grooming him. Like, you don't take this guy in the first round just to not put him out there and let him live. Like a Discord mod, they're grooming him to be the next guy.
Yeah, and I'm reading something, too. It says Alex is only the rest of the Lions coaching staff thinks this is the deepest the linebackers depth's been in years, and I'd have to agree. The only thing comparable I'd have to think back is crazy to say, and I don't know why this is the first time I remember of that unit, but like Ashley Palmer, DeAndre Levy, and who's the other guy ended up going to Oakland? You weren't listening.
Tahir Whitehead?
Yeah, Tahir Whitehead.
Well, who wasn't listening?
Yeah, that's fair. But I wouldn't even call that linebacker core deep. It was just they played well together. And you want to know why they played well together? The big boys up front.
Yes.
I think that's another blessing for Derek Barnes now, maybe, too, that they didn't have the past couple of years. I mean, the interior defensive line's been a need for quite some time.
For sure.
I know they drafted Aleem, and obviously Levi had his issues, too. But, I mean, they had to get acquainted to the league as well. And, again, with the scheme changing, I think that's another piece that just helps the linebacking core in general because, again, going back to what Alex Illinois said yesterday, he feels fucking perfect in the wheel spot. He feels like that's what he fits best at. And now he's not forced to be the Mike, which is crazy because that's what I thought he was going to be. And Dan Campbell spoke to that a little bit today, too. I should have grabbed that clip, but I apologize. But this defense, I'm not going to go off the deep end and tell you guys, like, top 10 or anything like that. But, like, look at how much that offense was able to produce last year with a piece that, if you guys don't know Rick Spielman, he's Chris Spielman's brother, former GM of the Minnesota Vikings. He had sent out a tweet yesterday following the first joint practice and said that Montgomery and Gibbs was definitely an upgrade over Swift and Jamal. You saw what Swift and Jamal brought last year. If they're an upgrade, that means this offense is going to be just as good, if not better, as it was last year. And with a respectable defense, not even like a top 10 defense, a respectable one, easily staying above 500 the entire year and probably making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's what you're headed into this year.
Dude, I'm 100%. Like, I'm excited to see him go out there and make plays. I'm excited to see this defense and how much it has improved from last year. Because we talked, there were multiple games last year where having an average defense, middle of the pack defense, in some games last year, it would have resulted in wins for the Lions. So if you think the offense is going to keep the pace it was at last year and be another top 5 unit, having a middle of the pack defense will result in multiple more wins than what we had.
100%.
100%.
Sorry, I was asking JB if you wanted in on this one. He's a Pro Bowl player.
He's a Pro Bowl player. First year. Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, both being a Pro Bowl.
100%.
That's actually crazy, too, because our entire argument has been Jack Campbell versus Malcolm Rodriguez for the starting Mike.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to be on a unit together.
Yeah.
Both of them.
For sure.
Which I'm not complaining about at all.
No.